Greetings and goodbye. Do not be afraid. Death is not the end. We require ether. Deploying drone. Do not be afraid. Death is not the end. I will show you the world beyond. Deploying drone. Deploying drone. We require ether. I will show you the world beyond. not be afraid. Death is not the end. Deploying drones. Activating reserve power. Are you still alive? Disengaging signals. Target area delineated. Commencing erosion. System overload. Aborting process. Let us rise above death. Deploying drones. We require ether. Deploying drones. Let us rise above death. Do not be afraid. Death is not the end. Are you still alive? Recommend Razor. System overload. An error has occurred. System override confirmed.
A rift in reality? Has she lost control of the power? Steen! Listen to me! I understand. I do. And I know that you won't be swayed from your course. But if there's truly no other way to resolve this, then face me. Not as a machine, but as the real you.
Lamachi. Anomaly detected in memory banks. Data for the endless beam partially restored.
This is what I desire, and I will not fail. I can't bear to lose them. Not again.
I feel your pain, as if it were my own. At last, I think I know you. All of you.
How can you say that to me now?
It's over, Steen. We will stop you.
No! I won't let you! I can't! I will protect my people's happiness!
Leave that burden with us now. We will bear it in your stead.
get a cue?
No, we're in.
Oh, hello guys! We're a bit delayed. Welcome back everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. We had a little change here during the shift. And hello Flick, hello Ryla, how you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Flick? How are you, Nan?
Hey, all good, all good. Excited to be back. Super excited to see the race and how it's progressing. The fights are really, really fun so far.
For sure. Yeah.
I have to
Especially
say
three.
they are very fast so far. But before we actually dive into the fights, I know that's what everyone is waiting for. But would the two of you like to introduce yourself so people actually know who the hell is talking here?
Ryla, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go first. I'm Ryla. You might have seen me in the earlier segment where my cat restarted my PC and I was out for 5 minutes during the pre-show. But for those of you who weren't there, hello, I'm Ryla. You might know me better as Lyra Bros, former head admin of the Balanced Discord. But now I'm retired from that and I just write guides for Icy Veins for Final Fantasy XIV.
And I'm Flickdrop. This is, I believe, my 4th time casting the World First Races. Super excited to be here. I'm one of the casual players that pretends to know what they're talking about and just gets invited to come on board every time.
I'm sure that will work out. I'm Nani. Some of you might remember me as Ereskai from previous races. And I've had the honor of being host for quite a few races and will try to lead you through the stuff and hope these guys are helping me a bit with mechanics. I took a little break, I'm back now, and I'm washed up.
Don't worry, I feel many of us are. That's why we're commentating and not participating, you know?
Yeah, the speed at which these guys are going, I'm happy if the first boss is dying today. But before we go into the action, for all the people that might have only just tuned in, what are we doing here? So we are obviously commentating the World Race, but at the same time we're raising money for charity, and it's basically an event that's been created by the Final Fantasy community for you guys, and we want to raise money for a good cause. And we again, just as in the past races, pairing up with Extra Life. They are a program of children's miracle network hospitals that unite gamers from across the globe, and the money raised through Extra Life and an extent that way through us is supporting a number of children hospitals in funding critical treatments or pediatric medical equipment, making sure that hospitals can provide charitable care to those in need, specialized services not covered by insurance. And if you want to find out more, you can do !charity, and there should be something popping up in the chat. And of course, just as in the previous races, we also have donation incentives. Maybe we could get them up on screen quickly. We do have, by our main sponsor Mountain Dew, we have 2 Viper keyboard key sets, 2 Pictomancer keyboard key sets, then 2 Viper...
The Honeybee Lovely Show has begun.
Let's put on a lovely show for the audience. Submit to your lovely queen.
Beautifully judged.
You're ready for me to steal your heart.
how to savor the sweet sting of Honeybee's charms. Oh, she's definitely feeling your love. Can the challenger resist the irresistible? I know I can't. Alas, her charms were not to be denied.
I'll make you mine. Is everyone having a good time? A little taste and make it interesting.
Here comes our fearsome venom strike!
No hard feelings if I kill you? B is for brilliant.
What's this? Honeybee has changed her routine.
Ooh, what a delightful battle this is! We're just getting started! Who's my obedient little bee? means the world to me, everyone.
Even I felt that one. Oh, but the challenger's still standing.
B is for beat you to a bloody pulp.
Amazing! The challenger saw straight through it! What a clash! Neither side is willing to yield. What power! Looks like someone isn't holding back.
We're just getting started.
It's all over. Until next time.
It's more of a dance feeling to it than the second fight did.
For
like
sure.
the second one was, to me it felt like it still had that random effect or feeling of the normal mode. I prefer these ones, but you can see like players have their typically assigned spots. We just got booted.
Oh no, that's okay.
I guess you get one.
They are at a similar prog right now. So
Yes, they are.
that works.
They're neck and neck. So let's
So
go. back
Ryla,
to-
you've been a bit of the expert when it comes to these fights. What do exactly the tethers do on the clones? What's the mechanic with them?
Okay, so the mechanic is called Chain Deathmatch. And this boss is really cool because it's very wrestling focused. So what Chain Deathmatch does, so if you saw earlier, players were tethered to a clone on the side of the arena. And there were multiple clones doing the lariat mechanic that we know and love from normal, the wide, half-room cleave where he charges up his fist. Now, Chain Deathmatch gives you a debuff that forces you to get hit by the lariat that with the clone you're tethered to. So you'll have to get hit by one clone, dodge the other clone, and then they come back again. So you're gonna have to move quick to dodge those gigantic, cleaves that the boss does repeatedly.
I'm just gonna jump in because we're back with Echo. There was a small technical issue on our end, sorry for that, guys. And this mechanic, you can see, it's new. We don't have this mechanic in normal mode. Like the little bomb fuses.
So thematically, it's, the fuses, the boss explosions, very similar to what he's done before. I think this is honestly a very simple mechanic to execute because you need to pop all the fuses before they reach the boss. It makes quite a lot of sense. But each fuse, when it explodes, it deals like 80,000 damage, like 70% of everyone's health bar, and it applies a magic vulnerability, so you can't explode 2 at once or everyone will wipe. So it's a big healing check. I know healers have been pushing for a lot of, interesting healing mechanics, and there we go. Like a gigantic 8-hit healing check.
So how do we pop them? Like, have you figured it out, or you just like walk over them? Is there like anything specific?
You simply intercept the fuse before it reaches the boss in the middle.
Okay.
I'm not sure what happens when it reaches the middle, but I assume you just wipe. And here we go. He's gonna take another swig of the doping draught. You can watch him. Oh my god, he's huge.
40%. So it looks like his health is unaffected though.
Yes.
So we figured that one out already. And in general, I would have to say, from what I've seen from the Savage tier, there's definitely more damage going on, which goes on par with what we've in general experienced doing the expansion so far.
Definitely. And I think this is a really cool, thematic mechanic. The Brute Bomber jumps out of the arena, gets onto the top rope, and jumps down, hitting everyone with a gigantic knockback in AoE. He's a true personification of wrestling, I think. Thematically, Arcadian has been really good so far.
Yeah, I think his
Sure.
personality
People were-
also
sorry.
fits the most for it. Like, he has this, like the little bit of like trash talking that they do in wrestling, right? He definitely hits that box.
So Flick, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that a lot of people were clamoring to get a steel chair situation in Savage, but I think the rope slam is pretty up there.
It definitely is. Now we see that all the players have 2 chains. They're chained twice, one to the boss and one to a clone. He's gonna cast the Murder Mist mechanic from normal, the one that you have to get behind him. So it's relatively simple, but you have to, it goes by really quick, and you have to know exactly where you need to be for the mechanic quite ahead of time. So yeah. Let's see how hard this Brutal Impact hits. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, that's a lot. And
Yeah,
you
8
can
hits.
see the HP going down, and just how much mitigation they still have on. So like, guys, if you're going in there, save your mitigation for this.
They throw everything at that. They throw everything at that.
And one thing I want to tell people going into these fights, early, or maybe you're going in later with your static, maybe you're PFing it, I don't know. But either way, a lot of the raid-wide damage in this fight, or in these raids, are physical. And some people might not know this, but casters and healers have less physical defense on their gear compared to a ranged physical DPS, melee DPS, and tanks. Obviously tanks are sturdier than others, so not them, but they have less physical resistance, and they take more damage from physical damage. And because the raid wides are physical, they're gonna hit the casters and the healers for a lot harder. So you want to put, feint. If you're a melee, if you're playing like Samurai, if you're a Viper main, going to the raid, you really want to feint those brutal impacts, those bloody scratches from Black Cat, to make sure that your healers and casters are not having a bad time.
But yeah, there was a sub 20% pull, and we're like 3.5 hours in roughly. Like, that is melting.
it's one of the most, if not the strongest job they've ever released in terms of like damage, utility. They've got a raid buff, they've got huge mobility as a caster. Pictomancer's got it all. And Black Mage mains are just suffering. No one's bringing them, no one wants them. So they did buff Black Mage a lot. They brought back Paradox and Umbral Ice. They made Umbral Soul give you the ice permanently, which is a really cool addition. So a lot of these changes were needed, and I don't think the damage buffs overall have a big impact on how fast these fights are going down. Because these players are the cream of the crop, they're the best of the best. They're gonna bring the best jobs, within reason of course, they're gonna bring the best damaging jobs into Savage. And while they're, you're doing a lot of damage even if the jobs weren't buffed. So I think it's just, like you said, teams have gotten better and better and better and better, every single team.
I feel like, especially for Pictomancer, you could bring the argument though, maybe Picto was just kinda too strong. But I mean, we also know Square historically doesn't like nerfing things, so I guess it's natural. They would bring stuff up to them instead of the other way around. But yeah, 51% full on screen right now.
Pretty clean so far for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so chat is saying that Echo is at 20%, sub 20%. Can we get over to them possibly to see if they're able to, get the last 20% down, or they'll continue having struggles at the part they were at previously.
I think we can't right now. So let's just for now focus on this channel.
Okay, let's focus on Lucrezia's pull. So,
The healer's down.
yes, and that might be a problem for the spread mechanic that's coming. No, seems like they're fine. So what happens in a lot of spread mechanics and fights is that if one person is dead, another player will get targeted twice and they'll instantly die from the crazy damage. But I don't think that happened there, so they're lucky to get the healer back up, continue this pull, and they're back at the fuse mechanic, which is relatively simple. But look at that damage that's coming out right now.
Scary damage.
Yeah, and with the healer having weakness right now, maybe this healing check will be the death of this pull. Let's find out.
There's one other thing I would like to touch up with them. If you look at their comp, they are running extremely damage heavy, but they do not have even a singular res on a DPS, compared to some other groups that have run like Red Mage Summoner, for example, just to have those reses for proc. So what would you guys say is more valuable, those reses or the extra damage? Because they have Picto and Viper, they are incredibly high in damage. We know Bard currently has the highest CPS for the range classes, and Monk just got some buffs today as well. So do you have any thoughts on that?
So, res casters versus damage casters. We went briefly over this previously. We know that red mages, they're able to, dual cast their res, get infinite chain reses up, recover a pull. Now, if you're doing, infinite chain reses in a pull, it's not likely going good, but you can see further into the fight. That being said, it's a more prevalent thing in the first and second fights, where damage doesn't matter that much and stuff isn't likely to kill you if you have a few people dead. Now for fights like Bomber, for example, if someone's dead, then it's likely cascading into a wipe that wouldn't be solved if you had additional reses by the DPS. So I think Lucrezia made the decision to not have a summoner or red mage for this fight. See, they're already sending the DPS LB3 to try and do more damage. They're ready for the kill. They want the kill so bad. And red mage and summoner, as we know, deal as of the buffs, probably not that much lower, but they definitely deal lower damage than a Pictomancer or a Black
100%.
Mage. So they want to do damage right now, and
it just means you doing POG itself, you just have to be a bit more consistent from the get-go. There's less room for error, I would say. Because in theory, you get, I would say, less pulls. Or like you get to see less stuff in the same amount of builds. Just because you don't have those rests, you might just die faster, wipe faster, go back in again. Then again, that makes you see other mechanics more often and get more consistent. So I guess in the end, kind of 50-50.
I also feel like in fights, especially like M3, where the sequence of abilities happens so quickly, having a rest might not be able to save you from an imminent fight, because it's such a quick sequence that even if you bring someone up, before you even heal them, they're dead again.
Yeah, fair point. Absolutely.
I think Lucretia took a good gamble there with bringing 4 just raw DPS and substituting the support up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. You can see that Kryl over here, they have done what most groups have done this tier, I would wager, is they have one of their melee DPS, like a melee specialist, flex onto the red mage or similar role. I think people prefer red mage because of the chain resist this tier. So Misty Lowen here, they're playing red mage. They're able to get those chain reses off while they still have Ectomancer, probably the strongest DPS job right now. So they're able to have the best of both worlds by not having a melee DPS.
Yep. Interestingly, they are running with the Dancer, which they previously did. Was it Lucretia with the Bard?
Yes, Lucretia
And then
did have a Bard.
Echo running with a Dancer as well. So it seems like there doesn't seem to be like a strong preference, like over one or the other. Which normally in past raids, I'm pretty sure the Wing Pod we've mostly seen every group going with a Dancer. So I think that's a pretty interesting change that we currently have going on there.
Yeah, for sure. Kryl getting sub 20% in their poll. They're ready to tackle the final mechanics of the fight.
Yeah, they're all alive. No one with weakness.
Yeah, a lot of teams are
So, you are resolved to face me. Come, children of man. Bend the knee. Tremble before my divinity. Behold the virtuosity of the builder!
builder has been made to yield. Intriguing. Then the destroyer shall take your measure. After you have provided my servant with some sport. Ahead stands a statue I have fashioned for our contest. Come, show me the strength of mankind. Upon the ground you shall crawl. By my authority as the Destroyer. I will break you body and soul. Wandering star, descend and destroy! Keep a reverent distance! Can you predict your own undoing?
Come, mortals, enter my realm, if you dare. You will be scoured by the light of the sun. In fire woven, in your wake leave naught uncleansed! Is it just a mirage? Or something more? Explosive finish! Raging flames dance upon the
Will you be able to comprehend it? Flames of the abyss consume all. Will you weather my trial?
And over 1,000 Final Fantasy XIV in-game item codes for sparkling citrus refreshments. And for the Mountain Zoo mount that is sold out, unfortunately for NA only. We're very sorry, we don't make the rules. But if you're from NA and you want a chance for that mount, keep watching. In addition, you can... Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Some codes have just been posted by Frosty. Go ham, first come, first serve. And in addition, we also have donation incentives. So if you want to do something for a good cause while having a chance to win something yourself, we have a Chocobo plushie, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth vinyl album, both sponsored by Frosty. He's giving autographs if you want. I think he also talked about hugging it, resending it. Then we have 2 times a Pictomancer key set and a Viper key set 2 times, the Acadian controller, the Cloud figurine, and a Picto and Viper mic and stream deck set. You can see the numbers that you have to donate in total on these thingies. So if you, let's say you had donated $5 and you do another $5 donation later on, you will be eligible for the Chocobo plush and for the vinyl album. If you donate a total of $40 or more, you'll be entered into all of them. So get your loot and do something good.
Now, Ryla, I know you don't play with a controller, but looking at that beautiful Arcadian controller, would it make you want to switch? Would it make you want to test it out?
I would for sure test it out. You know, controller is something that's relaxing for crafting and gathering, I think. Because you know you can like sit back on a couch, watch Netflix on another monitor or something. You know, watch what do the kids watch these days? Anime, Netflix, you know, all that good stuff. You can sit back with a controller and, you know, relax while doing it. And I think I might try that out. Maybe not playing. I'm too used to a mouse and keyboard. You know, I didn't grow up with consoles, so I'm not a controller player. But for the controller players out there, it's a really cool controller. And I guess even if you don't use it, you can display it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks really cool.
And talking about the donation incentives, of course, we also had a couple more donations coming in. $55 from Anonymous, 50 from Enunarum, thank you so much. Then 40 from, I don't know your name, but you put in, thanks for organizing, Frosty. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Frosty.
30 from Garbotran, 100 from Aaron, thank you so much. That is a very, very generous amount. Foxfire 720 with $40 and Gwyff also with $40. Like we're increasing that donation amount fast. Like I just wanna again thank you guys. Like I don't think any of us take this for granted, and the fact that every single race you guys come together to donate, it means a lot. Not only to us but also to the kids that like actually benefit from your donations.
Yeah, Extra Life is a great cause.
Yes, for sure. To you, is it? Are we allowed at this point to start coming up with crazy donation incentives? Do you reckon, or is it still a bit too early in the race?
You know, one donation incentive we talked about on the pre-show was Frosty getting swole. You know, Frosty getting jacked, as they say. Frosty hitting the gym and squatting 500
like
pounds.
Live streams and like stories and stuff.
Yeah, you wanted to make an Instagram account for it and everything. I remember.
Yeah,
I was there.
I was there. So yeah, maybe you know, our donations are progressing really fast. Thank you for everyone who donated. We're at what, 7,000, above 7,000 on 20K, and we're only what, 4 hours in. That's crazy. Thank you everyone so much. And the last fight is going to take a while. Let's be honest here. The last fight will take a while. And our stream lasts so long. We want to highlight all the teams participating for a great cause. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been saying maybe we got really lucky and see either the second boss or further into this fight, but it's definitely giving issues already at the start. It's not going down nearly as fast as the other ones, and I can't quite tell yet if that's because it's more tanky, aka potentially no door boss, or just because the mechanics are just giving trouble to the teams right now.
So, one thing interesting that they've done recently for door bosses is that they make the... so for those of you who aren't aware, as I saw in chat earlier, so sorry for not explaining some terminology, but door bosses are in the fourth fight, in normal mode, there's only one boss. You kill her, you get the loot, or them later, but right now it's her. You get the idea. So you kill them, you get the loot. In Savage, it introduces a Savage unique boss, sometimes, not all the time, but more often than not, that you need to get the main boss, so Wicked Thunder in this case, to a certain percentage, lower than a certain percentage by her Enrage. You will get to the actual boss, the final boss. If you don't do enough damage in that time, then the Enrage just kills you. So, based on how far Kryl has progressed into the fight, you can see on the bottom left around what, 10%?
There are, yeah.
Yeah, 10% in at around what? I think this pull has been going on for a long time now. Based on that,
they're 3 minutes in. I've noticed that Lucretia was actually just standing, waiting, and like watching the mechanics develop, and maybe that's why the HP is so high.
Yeah, they might just
specifically
be
for
watching.
that. So Lucrezia does do this thing where their group focuses on mechanics, and I think that's a really good strategy that's gotten them their world third clear. They're so competitive. What they do is they will not press their damaging buttons. They're just going to stand there and focus on mechanics until they can just hammer those mechanics down with absolute precision. And then once they get those down, they're going to start doing damage, and since they're already they're so good at doing damage, then it's just going to come naturally for them.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. While we have a little bit of downtime in our group, or Fight 4 groups, we'll quickly go and run some ads, guys. Ads are also supporting the stream. I know they are not the greatest, but we appreciate if you just sit through them. Go grab a drink, stay hydrated, and we will be right back. At least for those who are not subbed, hint hint.
Am I a bad person? Tell me, am I? I'm single-minded. I'm never satisfied. I don't respect you. I have an obsession with power. I'm delusional. I'm maniacal. Tell me. Does that make me a bad person? Does it?
Towards the door boss.
I didn't raid too much in the last year. Have they been at like 50%? Because I'm pretty sure like all the last bosses that I did with a door boss were usually 70-ish.
I honestly don't remember. I know.
Man, all these washed-up gamers here.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm trying to think back to like P4 or something.
Yeah, so Hephaestus.
I think Hephaestus was 50.
50, yes, he was 50. I do remember
Was
that.
he? Man, I did that boss and I don't remember. So long ago.
That was like a 4.5, 5 minute fight. It wasn't that long.
No,
Yeah, true. He
Hephaestus
died
was
relatively
long.
fast. Yeah.
But that was a long fight. Hephaestus was 8 minutes. You might be thinking of Hesperos, the first
Hesperos,
boss.
the
He
one,
was like 6 minutes.
Yeah. The vampire cape guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Grandpa here knows what we're talking about. He's been here a long time.
Yeah, P8S was a long fight. So was P12S Phase 1 Athena. So you might be in for another extremely long fight. First phase in this fight.
I mean, the other fights have been extremely fast, so I wouldn't mind because if the fight goes longer, the race goes longer. And that's... I'm not looking forward to prog it if it's longer, but I am looking forward to seeing the streams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, do you think, because obviously we haven't seen a lot of the fight yet. We've seen in normal mode she had like her wings and she had like her laser gun, bazooka. I'm not sure what it was. What else do you think she's gonna summon? Because I mean, we can agree that she's gonna summon other stuff, right? Like that's pretty much a given.
So I don't think we've seen the cannon yet. The
cannon... not in Savage.
Yeah, so this is a Savage exclusive phase, I would call it, where she's using her cube of lightning, her electrope. And you can see that that's the half room cleave. Funnily enough, in Japanese, the direct translation just Black Sabbath. Clearly a reference to the band, but for English, they called it Shadow Sabbath. I'm not sure what they called it in German or French because I don't play on those languages, but yeah. They've stuck some cool references into these fights, it seems.
It's gonna take a while until I'm there, and I prefer not to play in German. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if we'll find out. But anyways, yeah, so the cube phase, Savage seems to have... Well, what the developers do for Savage specifically for the fourth and third fight, kind of, but mostly the fourth fight, is that they hide a lot of mechanics. They don't want you to know what's going on because it's going to be the hardest fight. They want it to be the hardest fight. So the first and second fight's normal. They're a lot more involved. Honeybee Lovely in particular with the hearts. I know a lot of people were having trouble with that in normal mode, but it didn't seem like a big deal in Savage because everyone was used to it in normal. Now in Savage for Wicked Thunder, there's tons of new mechanics, and the furthest pull length we've seen so far is like around, I would say like 3 minutes, around 10%. So yeah, segueing to this, we're watching Team DN right now. Don't ask me what it stands for, but they are at sub 5% for the Brute Bomber, and they're in their burst window. So let's see if they can clear it.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a weakness on the Red Mage, so a little bit less damage than usual.
Well, let's be real. It's a red mage.
Exactly. They do have a Reaper and a Pictomancer, so I think they've got it covered.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, let's not jinx it. I think
there's
this
gonna
is
be a
the
Red Mage
Enraged
strike.
cast.
Oh, is it gonna be?
No. Oh,
yeah,
I
I think it takes like his third cup and then.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
a few slams.
Nah, he didn't jump away yet.
No.
So they.
He does like 6 slams between the spinning.
No.
The capoeira kicks. Oh my god.
You know what's especially infuriating? You still see the boss, you're still alive, but you can't attack anymore. You have that like, you know how most bosses you can still attack while you take like the last bit of damage, like that famous, the dot ticking down for that kill. I don't know if you guys remember, but that doesn't happen with this guy. And that is infuriating.
Did we just jinx a 0.1% wipe for DN?
Sorry, guys.
I just had to say, fine, they're fine. They've got a Reaper, they've got a Picto, and nope.
I feel like we're not allowed to say they are fine. Maybe we need to throw much sometimes.
Oh god.
Yeah, as you can see, for the later fights, especially after you get past the second fight, damage does matter. That Red Mage could have been like a strong melee. I know Shinda, he's a very strong ninja player. That could have been a ninja. He could have done just 1 or 2% more damage on ninja and he would have cleared. Like,
I mean, if he didn't have the weakness, they would have cleared there. Let's be real.
To the memories of better days, I bid farewell.
Have you heard? Princess Fiend is here.
Foreign entities detected. Proceeding with removal.
Your smile means all is right with the world.
Classes.
If I smile, it is because
are
you all
comfortable
smile
now.
for me.
Yep.
Now
But,
let me set point of my meetings.
We have a good call here on solid. They are on the. I'm sorry for this being very ambitious task.
Very clean. Let's see if we can. So raining tethers.
Security protocol.
are my people, and I will protect you. The painful memories of war I lay to rest.
Foreign entities detected. Proceeding with removal. Security breach confirmed. Initiating level 5 security protocol.
you will all live on. And at the last, my final endless.
Fire detected. Initiate Getty protocol.
They've done it! They preserved the Queen! We can't give up! Not until we keep complete!
Really quiet. Memory division. Initiating level 9. Ready. Activate remnants. Engaging priorities. Attempting removal via incision. Attempting removal via incision. Removal failed. Commencing extermination sequence. Attempting extermination via multiple armaments. Purging via armaments. Acquiring target. Exterminating. Commencing final attack sequence. Attempting annihilation via high-powered energy discharge. Energy accumulation complete. Initiating final attack protocol. Foreign entities remain. Resuming annihilation. Consuming annihilation.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed after this, wake up, and everybody's still wiping. What will be the 5th fight?
I mean, potentially. I'm very unsure right now how this race is gonna turn out. Like, I always feel like when you're on the final boss, it's super hard to predict how much longer is it gonna go on for. Right? Like, it could be... Heck, it could be dead in 5 hours. It could take another 15 hours.
Yep.
We had that with, was it P8? Where we all thought it was gonna be a cakewalk because the first 3 bosses had died
Yep.
fairly quickly, and then we were there for 2 days, 3 days.
Yep.
I forget the name of the boss.
Hephaestus.
No, it was the lava. Was it Hephaestus, the lava one with the snakes?
Yeah, Hephaestus.
Was it Hephaestus?
It was
That was a spicy.
Yep, that was a spicy fight with the snakes, the vents, the phoenix, and the snake. They were also, and then in phase 2 you had. What was that mechanic called again? It was the alchemy mechanic where you were trying to make the bird.
Somehow hearing that, I'm glad I didn't do that right here properly. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I think people generally agree that the first 3 fights were not the greatest. One thing they did in those tiers that they haven't done again, thankfully, is that all the mechanics are named the same thing. So, Proto Carbuncle, you had Ruby Glow, Ruby Glow, Ruby Glow, Ruby Glow. In the second fight, you had what? Aetheric Polynomioid or something? I don't know what it was called. But it was just 6 different casts of that mechanic, and then people were like calling it like, oh, Ruby Grill 6 is this, and Ruby Glow 4 is this, and it was really, honestly, it was really annoying to keep track of. So I'm glad they've sharpened up their naming scheme for now.
So yeah, now we have the honeybee transition actually being called first, second, third.
Yep.
Doing you the favor.
I don't want to do the honeybee fight later. Like, a part of me is like, I want to clear Black Kite today, but a part doesn't, because that means then honeybee fight. No, I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I mean, I've seen every fight, kind of. I mean, obviously, like, this one as far as we went on stream now, but the honeybee one so far, to me, looks definitely the most annoying. Not the hardest, but the most annoying.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Mainly because of the hearts, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
and I'm a fifth range, then I already find it annoying. like, again, I don't want to be any other class than that, I must be like 10 times worse.
Yeah, so let's see how Kryle tries to solve the blasting mechanic again. So, yellow, orange in front, blue in back. Oh.
Oof, that hits hard.
Maybe it's just damage. But you saw that they received another debuff. Oh.
Oh, what?
So it seems like you do need to be on the opposite side. And then it hits like a truck.
So it's like normal mode, just like hitting both sides, you just gotta adjust. And it just is like a shit ton more damage.
Yes, it's I think it hits harder than like every AoE.
That hit for like 80%. Easy.
I think like good advice for everyone who's going in later today or like in the upcoming days. Like the buffs and debuffs on yourself next to the party list, make them bigger. If you're someone who has issues seeing them, Make them bigger, because I feel like nearly every fight is in one way or another playing with them. So, yeah.
And thanks, chat, for pointing this out, correcting me, because I forgot to mention it. It is a wild charge mechanic with the cannons. Wild charge is basically meaning tanks need to stand in front and mitigate because it hits the closest person much harder than everyone else. Of course, it hits everyone else really, really hard, as we just saw, but it hits the closest person really, really, really hard. And tanks are there for block. So
Tanks actually have to tank.
yeah, and Lucrezia is at the cannon mechanic. Let's see if they understand. I think they do, because they're not using that much mid for this part, and they're likely going to stack a lot of mitigation for the cannons. See, there's soil going up. There's magic barrier. You got Adel on the boss. Oh, God, oh.
I feel like there must be more to it. If they still, like, there was so much mitigation and they still just, like, oof.
I think they forgot. I think they don't realize that it's a wild charge yet. Maybe something that's a shame. Because what ended up happening, I think, how groups are whipping to it, is that if someone dies, the donut AoE that pops like a few seconds later will instantly go off. And that'll just kill people. Because there's a giant donut AoE trying to hit you. So hopefully they can figure this out fairly soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can see further into the fight.
So, like, let's just call it 50%, right? Because, like, we don't know. Like, I feel like either way, something is gonna happen around 50%. Either it's a door boss, or there's gonna be, like, a transformation. You know, like, Shiva, Titan. How long do you think it's gonna be to go there? Because, like I said, it's hard to call, like, estimates on, like, the whole thing. But, like, I feel like that part, considering we're, like, let's call a good pull 75% right now. How long would your estimates be for, like, the 50% mark?
So 75% on their good pull with, like, 1 or 2 deaths. I think the cannon, I wish they had a timer, but I think the cannon mechanic's around 4 or 5 minutes in. So a really, really clean, like, 8-minute fight would make it 50%, a 50%, you know, transition, whether it is a door boss or not a door boss.
By time, I meant, like, real life time.
Oh, real life time.
Sorry.
Oh, my bad. So
I like how she waited for you to do all the maths before stopping you.
Well, I guess that's what I'm here for. So honestly, this is something that, you know, everyone will have a different idea of, because it varies so much depending on the mechanics that come after. If they're relatively easier, or if they're repeats of what we've seen before, then I could see this door boss, or not the door boss, but I could see the first phase, because there's obviously 2 phases. I could see the first phase going down in maybe an hour or 2. If there are whole new mechanics after the cannon mechanic that we haven't seen before, these groups haven't seen before, then we could see them being on this door boss for another maybe 4, maybe even like 5 hours. Because of the consistency and the damage you need to get that phase transition.
Damage is a good point, because door bosses have been known to be a bit more tricky in the damage department compared to, like, the first 3 fights of a tier. Click your estimate.
I feel 1 or 2 hours. I'm on the side of Ryla here, where if the next mechanics after the cannons aren't something completely unknown, we could see it go down fairly quickly. I feel also that M4 is a slight change of pace between the previous 3. I feel like the previous 3 were more sort of sequential execution, where everybody has to move in and out of something. But here it feels more sort of like slow it down, figure out the puzzle, and then resolve it quickly.
Yeah.
You get what I'm going?
It feels slower, yes. Yeah. I like the.
It feels like a more complex. It feels like a more complex puzzle But I feel like once they get it down, when they figure out, for example, they figured out that the player explosions are actually 2x2 tiles. And once they get the little nukes off the things, it will move a lot faster. Like, I feel like that's where the stumbling block is right now.
Yep, I can see that. And yeah, a good observation that like it definitely does feel slower and more heavy hitting. I think both of those apply. I'm in like the 2 to 3 hours board, unless, like you said, there's like a fully new mechanic coming. And I could see by like being at 75% right now, I could definitely see them cramming like one more new mechanic in there. Maybe not fully new, maybe like very close to something we saw in normal mode, so it's relatively... Wait, actually we didn't have the copies yet, did we? Well, then I'm calling copies for the mechanic that's missing. 100% they are not giving us a transition or like a new boss without the copies popping up. And that could be a different mechanic.
Yeah, so unfortunately, crowd wiping on the, I call it one of the debuffs phases, but I'm not really sure to call it one of the things we see in Savage that aren't normal, with the debuffs going out and the arena changing to a 5x5 grid rather than a 4x4 grid. So they're just gonna straight up pull again as we head to Lucrezia. Now, if you notice, Lucrezia, as I said before, as we discussed before, once they get to a new part of the fight they're not as practiced on, they completely cut their damage. They stop DPSing and they will focus on mechanics. And that might give people like watching a false sense of security. Oh, why is the boss so high when they're already at, this mechanic? Why is their DPS so low? Well, it's because they're intentionally not DPSing so that they focus on mechanics. And I think it's something that has given them a great, lead on progression in this world race.
I just quickly want to jump into donation. We got one from Naviklink for $25, and then we got Anonymous with a massive, I hope you're ready, $1,337. Thank you so much. That is... I'm reading that correctly, right? Like, holy crap.
That is impressive.
I'm pulling up.
That's amazing. Thank you, Anonymous, for that amazing donation.
That is a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. $1,037 donated for Extra Life. Great cause.
I'm speechless.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I was checking. Wait, am I reading something? But I have it here on the page. Thank you so much. That's a huge number.
Yeah, that's going to an amazing cause, and thank you. It will definitely change a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. And in addition to that, everyone who donates at least $5 is in the pool of some giveaway items. Not really giveaway, but you're in the pool to win some items. Maybe we can pull them up quickly on the screen. So you can see the Chocobo plush for $5. You're gonna be eligible for that. And then the vinyl album from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for $10. Then we're moving up to $15 for key sets. The controller for $25, Cloud figurine for $30, and each times 2 Picto and Viper mic and Stream Deck. Again, you don't have to donate, like if you want to be entered for all of them, you don't have to donate in one go. It accumulates, so if you go $5 now, $5, I don't know, in 3 hours, you're gonna be eligible for both the Chocobo plush and the vinyl album, and then so on up to the way of $40. So do something good and maybe get something good back. Shout out here to our sponsors as well, Battle Beaver and Mountain Dew, we really appreciate it.
Without them, this wouldn't be possible, and I want to give a shout out again to Frosty TV, Mr. Mog Talk himself, for helping organize all of this for charity. He does it every time. done it for so long, and he unites the community. He's the one that is the backbone, and you know, without him and Extra Life and all these sponsors and all of you viewers, this wouldn't have been possible. So thank you, everyone.
He's the man of the hour. He's the man with the vision, and we're all here because of him.
Yeah. As part of the admin team, Frosty is absolutely pouring his everything into this. He might have like a couple more gray hairs after every race, but sorry, I'm still a bit speechless. Massive donation.
I think that's the biggest one I've ever seen on stream. From the race.
For me at least, yeah.
Absolutely. Where are we at? Is that 82%?
Yeah, so our shift is almost over. I think we got like 10 more minutes. So let's try to see if we can figure out the cannon mechanic before where we have to go. So they are on the mechanic with the differing debuff timers. So again, the arena turns into a grid of 5x5, and these explode when these debuffs go off. They explode in every square around them. So they're gonna have to spread out. The people who have the debuffs going off have to spread out, and the people who have, you know, the debuffs going out later need to stack somewhere safe. And I think the solution has been found. They didn't execute it properly, but what ends up happening is that someone will mark 4 separate players. You can see that the chain mark is still there. And based on the mark, they'll go to a specific corner because the orientation of the AoEs that cover the ground is always the same. It's just like flipped in some cases. So unfortunately they weren't able to execute, but we have seen them get through the mechanic cleanly before, and hopefully we get to see them again as they do it.
I feel like we're racking our brains about this, but I'm sure it's already on Twitter and someone has the 5x5 grid already figured out, and it's out there.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that haven't seen it.
You think? Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't have the echo view right now, but I wonder if they are stuck on the same mechanic, or if they've beaten that part.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Nevertheless, I think it's going to be a very spicy race between Kyle and Echo and Lucretia. Like, they're all very, very, very close.
Yeah.
And they've been neck and neck from the beginning.
Yep.
Do we have any off-screen raiding groups that we just don't know the prog of right now? Do you guys know?
I do know that Serenity, on the leaderboard, you can see Serenity, the 4th group to clear a Brute Bomber. They are not a streaming group. We don't know the progress of, if you know him, Khalees.
I was gonna say,
He's been in chat earlier.
Yeah,
he's been chatting up the.
He's been chatting us up in between polls. I see. Yeah, their group does not report until they cleared the last fight at 5.
Okay.
5.
So that's a full black box.
There's also Aether Group 3. They do report, but they often report late because they're obviously busy with mechanics. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like a very high 3rd clear that they just didn't bother to report because they're too busy focused on the 4th fight of the tier already.
Well. Do you think they'd be further in? I can't imagine they would be further in because like the stream teams have been incredibly fast.
These stream teams have been incredible to see. Kryl, Echo, Lucrezia, even DN. All these stream teams have been clearing these fights super fast with the added disadvantage of the fact that they are streaming. And I think that, you know, this will incentivize more teams to stream in the future, maybe even, you know, Sindolf, Khalees' group, Rad, the Serenity group. A lot of these groups are like comprised of veterans like Serenity. They've been around the raid scene for a long time, so it's no surprise for people that they have these high placing clears while off stream. And maybe if streaming goes well, all these teams will stream, and we'll have a culture of streaming World Pro going forward.
Yeah, I do hope that at least for Savage next tier we get more people, more teams streaming. More of the teams that like are known to be like the competition that we don't see right now. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's gonna happen for Ultimate. That advantage is too big. I'm very curious if Echo decides to stream Ultimate. I believe they said something, it depends sort of like how Savage goes for them and stuff. But if they do, I would be very curious how that goes, because these players have been winning stuff before. So then we would see the stream advantage in action.
For sure.
Or well,
I
disadvantage.
think it will take one of the major teams to sort of take the leap and say, okay, we're going to do it. Much like, and we talk about it time and time again, but it's what happened with World of Warcraft. We had the secrecy for decades, and then Method eventually said, you know what, let's just stream it and see what happens. And
do other teams stream there? Or is it mostly Method/Echo?
For the longest time, it was very much a secret race. I remember back in the day when Mana Flask was still tracking it, much like Frosty's doing now. But eventually someone, I can't remember what year it was, what tier, they took the leap and someone started streaming, and then everybody else jumped on the bandwagon. Now it's, the top two teams stream.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
I think it was Limit that started streaming.
Was it?
Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah.
Well, for Proc at least right now, definitely the gun mechanic.
Yep.
That is the big hiccup at the moment.
And someone in chat is asking, how do we know that these teams have actually cleared? Well, all these clears, even if the teams don't stream, they will provide proof of their clear to the Mogtalk team. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes, hard at work, verifying these clears, making sure they're legit. And these teams are comprised of respectable world progression raiders that have made good placements many times. And I don't think they'll fake a clear just to be like, oh, we were earlier on the earlier fights. So, and of course, all teams, whether they stream or not, they will provide a video after they clear. It's just common courtesy. So we do know that clears on screen right now from the teams that aren't streaming are legit.
And also, I feel like the race has been going on, at least this tier has been racing by so quickly that even if you faked, I don't know, world first M1, how quickly the streaming teams are just progressing, and we're like this deep into the tier already. It won't really make much of a difference.
Like that being said, only the streaming teams are eligible for most of the rewards that are provided for the World Racers. So that's another incentive to stream. You can get sick Corsair gear, you can get stuff from Mountain Dew, you can get the Battle Beaver controller if you are the first world team too. There's a lot of other stuff too. I can't list all of them right now because we're almost running out of time, but yeah. The world first teams, the world first, second, and third get a lot of cool swag for participating and streaming. So it's a really good incentive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you can see the purple markers here. Really make that stuff big on your screen, guys. Keep watch of those timers.
Yeah, so we're watching DN right now. They're not aware of how it works. I'm very surprised that they're not, considering look how many people are in their Discord chat, just
yeah,
talking it out there, because Kryl has done this mechanic successfully, and even if they didn't, they should be aware that the debuffs do explode every square around them. So
And
Maybe they're just
the marked
figuring out
tiles
what-
don't change, like you were saying. They rotate, but the actual pattern's the same. South is a single, then 2 single boxes in the top left, and then the
You
2 by 2
know?
on the side.
You know what's gonna change, Bo?
What?
The casters.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but we have to wrap it up as our shift is ending. For me, unfortunately, it's also my only shift because I only got today off and have to go back to work tomorrow. One of our mods was nice enough to give some shoutouts in chat earlier. Feel free to follow me on Twitch. I usually play Final Fantasy XIV or JRPGs. I'll be jumping into raid later as well at a way lower skill level than this stuff though. And Flick, you want to go next?
Sure. This is actually going to be my only shift as well, unfortunately. And I've been pretty much off the grid for the last year, so good luck finding me. I am going to be leveling in Oceania though. I'm leveling a Lalafell called Suspicious Child. So if you see me, if you see me around, give me a shout.
And last but not least, it's been Ryla. I am here for 2 more shifts, same time today or tomorrow and the day after. So I'll be here trying to give analysis to the best of my ability. Thank you for letting me be on here. I was here in like Abyssos, and I fortunately had the schedule to be here again. So thank you so much, and yeah, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you soon.
Alright guys, thank you so much, and we will go on to a short break, and then Liffy Potter and Sarah Jane will be giving you all the spies on the 4th plus.
Discover Japan's diverse cultural landscape, centuries-old culinary heritage. Enjoy authentic confections that have been locally crafted by skilled Japanese artisans. Experience the traditions of Japan each month with Sakura through carefully curated selections. Your journey begins today.
Get Mountain Dew. Unlock Mountain Dew gaming rewards.
Is that everything?
See you tomorrow. Buy Dew. Enter codes. Get rewarded.
Well, hello, and welcome back, everyone. You are watching the Mock Talk World Race for charity. I should mute my stream window, unless I want to hear myself talk. I mean, I got some lovely guests here. I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing Ponto talk a bit. My friend, how are you doing?
Lads. I'm doing pretty well, man. How you doing with yourself?
Oh, it's a great day, especially now that I get to cast a little bit with you and the Queen of Bees, Sarah Jane herself. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are the cats doing?
Great. Ash is attacking my wand. That's okay. It's very cute.
It is.
No, it's fine. I'm having a great night though. It's currently 1 a.m. here in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, the late shift. Heck
yeah.
Me. All right. Welcome to the World Race. I think this is the first time for the two of you, right?
Is indeed.
Yes, this time.
First fan fest, a little bit of Gillionaire quizzing, Ponto actually saving
so
the
much
day. You know?
I know, for once.
Yeah, and now we get to cast some ratings. So, we've seen some bosses so far. I'm personally a little bit surprised we're so deep into 4 already. But Sarah, how are you feeling about the progress so far?
Well, I haven't actually seen much because I was literally just in Blackout myself on my stream. So I'm literally just kind of tuning in now, trying to work out what is happening. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm usually not a big fan of Blind Frog. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I thought we did quite well, you know, got about halfway through the fight, had some like giggles and just had some fun with it. Super looking forward to jump back in tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. So, Ponto, I hear you're a little bit of a raider yourself, right? You're not busy looking at glamour plates. So, what's your take on this?
I have no clue what you're talking about. I've never looked at an adventure plate in my life.
Sorry. I must be confusing it then.
So far so good with everything with the with Raid Tier. I have to say, from watching it, I kind of got up a little bit late today. The time I got up, people were mostly at the leg end of, I guess, the second fight. In terms of like first Raid Tiers, this is kind of on par with how Endwalker and Shadowbringers kind of went. Generally, it's about 16 to 18, maybe up to 1 day sort of prog for the entire thing. Usually, the last fight is where people seem to get caught up the most. Sometimes the third fight has a little bit of a slowdown to it, but people went through the third fight fairly quickly, it seems. Very interested in what happens on the second half of this fight. It looks like it's going to be a 2-phase sort of fight, obviously, with how slow the HP is going down on it, so we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, very slow HP bar, and that kind of leads me to believe that there might not actually be a door boss. She does some good shenanigans and disappears on like or something. So, mess here?
Well, you've seen a lot of this here in normal mode. Basically, you keep an eye on the outside because they're going to be doing some blow-ups. Though that there's now being mixed with this stage, where you have to just simply dodge the thunder on the floor. Doesn't seem like it's as busy, or you have to do as much as you had to do in normal mode with that. But obviously, it's because there's extra caveats to this. I haven't seen actually a lot of this stuff in this part of the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen this here actually. This is the one with people getting the thunder debuffs.
Not quite, not quite.
Oh no,
we got a little bit of a witch hunt, so we go in and out and in and out, and I think the people furthest from the party get stomped by the clones on the sides, as you can see. So you gotta swap around who's standing on the outside, so you don't cleave the rest of the party, and basically you all die. But after that, now Wrath of the Zeus, a little bit of raid-wide AoE, give the healers something to play around with, you know. And after that, I think soon we'll move into those thunder phases that you were talking about, Ponto. So Electrope Edge coming up next, and with these cubes on the field, where the same as you will see with multiple other mechanics, the more these cubes get zapped, the bigger the explosions are that they make. So you got to keep an eye on the cubes that get hit multiple times and kind of move away from them. So the cube hit once and a few cubes hit twice, half room cleave, and you just gotta kind of position away from that. And
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
There is no limit to Electrope's potential. Electrope has many uses. Watch and learn!
Oh, look at that massive cannon! Her skills are as sharp as ever.
Take this! If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings are wickedly divine. They're back on their feet. What grit?
How's this? I'll erase you.
Oh my! The challenger went down hard. They're still in it, but for how long?
Be gone.
Even I felt that one. Oh, but the challenger's still standing. Is it over already?
How are you still standing? I cannot! I must not lose! Just die already! I need your soul!
It's all over. Until next time.
Those are debuffs.
She's transformed me. What is happening?
So cool looking.
Oh, she has a monster arm.
Oh, what?
Damage? You like it's a res? No.
Wow, that transformation though, huh?
Okay, okay.
Hello?
Okay. Intermission.
The
we
wings
love it.
and the huge hands and tentacles.
So,
All right, Sarah.
maybe we
About
won't
the
get
door
a
boss.
change. Maybe it'll be
About the door boss.
Maybe it'll be a transformation in the middle of the fight itself rather than an actual phase change.
Oh, maybe.